Yes.
Thank you, my lord. I mean, that's it. Morning, Brigadier.
Good morning, Mr. Ramosepele.
Now, Brigadier, when we adjourned on Friday, one of the things that I requested was for us to go back and look at the witnesses according to their contemporaneous statements that were made on the 27th of October 2014 to have a regard as to which witnesses referred to the firearm that a .38 special revolver and which one simply referred to it as a firearm or as a gun. Did you have an opportunity to do that exercise?
Yes, I did, my lord, and I'll get to it. But just quickly, my lord, on the issue of the statement by Colonel Steyn that relates to the communication with accused 3. What I recall I said there was a briefing given to me by Colonel Steyn where he says there is a link between Ms. Kelly Khumalo and the accused 3. And I can confirm that that statement is there because I had an opportunity to check. So as to how we get it to Mr. Mnisi, I will liaise, like as Advocate Baloyi is saying, when that proper channel is there. So I will assist in that regard when we can speak open about it. But I had to go and look myself, to check if it's such.
When you say it is there, it is where?
It is in the docket.
In the docket?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So and I'll assist with in making sure that Mr. Mnisi gets it.
All right. Okay, fine.
Yes. So, yes, my lord. Now, coming back to the question by Mr. Ramosepele, my lord. Yes, the only statements that I recall, and I'm subject to guidance by Mr. Longwe, and I was specific in terms of the paragraph that where this is contained, where he refers to the revolver or 38. That is statement he made back in 2014, my lord. Mr. Madlala also. But I've also noted, my lord, in the interview that were conducted by Mrs. Warrant Officer Steenkamp, it is clear also there that when she was interacting with Ms. Kelly Khumalo, the issue of a revolver became apparent. In fact, if you look at her interview notes, they seem to suggest that everyone may be giving that impression. So that's basically how I can answer the question, man.
Now, perhaps for completeness sake, let's go at Seria team with respect to Longwe Fana. The statement that he deposed on the 27th of October 2014 will be A9 according to your docket. And in that A9, he describes, like you correctly say, that the firearm that he observed was a .38 special or a 3.8 special, because there's also another dot in between. So
that is correct, my lord.
And then Tumelo Madala deposed to A10 on the very same date as Longwe, on the 27th of October 2014. And then he described the firearm as well as a .38 special.
That is correct, my lord.
And then he also, Tumelo Madala, later on deposed to A110, in which he said the following, that I said to the person that was taking the statement from me that the firearm I observed had a will in the middle. I did not specifically say it's a .38 special. That's what's contained in A110.
Correct, my lord.
However, despite that attempt of Tumelo Madala to distance himself from A10 by saying that I did not say this is .38 special, A10 speaks for itself. That's what he describes in A10. The supplementary comes much later.
That is correct, my lord, but it is a fact that Tumelo Madlala is not licensed, because I profiled him, my lord, to possess, he doesn't have a license to possess firearms. So I do know that when this issue was taken up with him, when I was involved, the assertion from him was that he's not tooled up with firearms and he will not be able to distinguish whether it's a revolver or is this type of firearm. All I can say in that regard, my lord, is that he is not qualified in terms of the papers. He does not have a license to possess a firearm, so he lacks, with greatest respect, experience, in my view, my lord. Yes, ma'am.
But in A110, not to belabor this point, he should have gone further and say what you are saying, to say, I am not an expert in firearms, I am not licensed, therefore, when I was saying .38 special or a revolver, I was meaning generically to a firearm. He did not say that.
Yes, my lord, but Mr. Madala, I think he made about 3 or 4 statements. So one will have to check all the statements, with a microscopic view to ensure that it did not cover it perhaps in the other statements. Because in the one that Mr. Ramosepele is referring to, yes, indeed, he didn't say that, but there are other statements that he made subsequent to this one, my lord.
As the court please, my lord, we're just trying to find the relevant portion of Mr. Madala's evidence, but he did testify that he doesn't have knowledge of firearms, and without prescribing to my learned friend, I think it's perhaps better to relate what is in the statement with the evidence, because the statement was made some time ago. The witness has since come, testified, and clarified all these aspects. It will be of no consequence, my lord, to harp on the statement with respect that was made some time ago when the witness has already testified. The portion, my lord, that we're referring to is the evidence given by Mr. Dumela Madala on the 10th of August 2023 at page 4 during cross-examination by Mr. Numalo at line 12. Mr. Numalo says, so the description of the firearm that you gave in that paragraph, it is stated that it was a .38 special. Is that the description that you gave to the police? Then Mr. Madala answers, I do not know what a .38 special is. All I know is that the description that I gave was a description in as far as the firearm that had a wheel on it. That is the description I gave to the police, and as far as the .38 special or 3.8 special is concerned, I do not know firearm. I did not say that it was a .38 special.
My lord, just a crisp response. There's no contestation between me and the state on that. I even put it to the witness on Friday that in his defense, I stated to Melo Madala said the description that he gave was a firearm with a wheel. I told this witness that on Friday. But I'm just comparing what's written in the statement, what he testified about. So there's no contestation between us. Now, like you've testified that certain witnesses, especially the ones that have come and testified that were in the house, typically, Zandile Kumalo as well said, and I remember vividly, I was cross-examining her. She said, I'm not an expert in firearms, I won't be able to describe it. Similarly, Mtokozisi Twala could not describe the firearm. And the point that I'm coming to, Longwe Twala has yet to testify in this matter. And his description, you'll agree with me, that it's a .38 special and it still stands, according to his statements.
Yes, according to the statement, my lord, it still stands. However, he is also in the same boat with Tumelo Madala, and so are the other people who were in the house. None of them possess a license for the firearm. So there are no expertise in terms of the firearm. I'm saying legally, in terms of the profiling. What is factually correct, my lord, and that I can rely on is that the experts, this is now the ballistic expert, at the crime scene, they found a projectile that relates to the 9mm. And that is why in my statements, when I refer to a revolver, I said purporting to be a revolver in relation to what was contained in the statement, not what was the factual finding, because I was laying the basis of what is contained in the docket. But yes, that still stands, as Mr. Ramosepele says, but there are no expertise there, with greatest respect to him as well, my lord.
Okay. Then A12, we are still on the witnesses that were in the house. A12 is a statement of Gladness Kumalo or Makumalo. She also did not give a specific description of the firearm.
Correct, my lord.
U-A12 kuyisitatimende sakhe-ke uMakhumalo noma uGladness Khumalo naye-ke isibhamu akasichazanga lapho.
And A13 is the statement of Ms. Zandile Kumalo. She too did not give a specific description of the firearm.
Yes, she didn't give a both 812 and 818, my lord, did not give a description of a specific firearm, in other words, in terms of the type or the make. But they do say the first intruder was carrying a firearm. That's the essence of it.
And finally, 826 is the statement of Mutokozi Sitwala, and also he too did not describe the firearm in specific terms.
Yes, indeed. Except to say the intruder had a firearm, but not describing it. So the presence of the firearm becomes prevalent, my lord, in these statements.